Hi guys, good afternoon, and welcome to my vlog. No, actually, this is not a vlog. This is a strategy I learned from one of the teachers who posted that this is a good means of relating the message to you guys instead of doing virtual classes. Now, if I thought about it and trying it now, and hopefully this will work for the most of you, particularly those who have difficulty in connections, or those who do not have any gadgets, no, and they're just trying to borrow gadgets from their friends or their family members. So I'm going to try this so that at any given time, those who are not able to cope up with our virtual classes, they could just visit YouTube and go to my sort of channel. Di ba? Ang galing. Para akong vlogger. Di ba? Pero yun, no? And check this out for the any related topics that concerns you, no? So for this afternoon, I would like to try the learning material number 2, okay, for our subject language, culture, and society. So learning material number 2 is Eve Ensler's The Vagina Monologue. Okay, so I'm going to explain again, particularly for those who are not able to attend the virtual classes last time, no? So I will explain how you'll be able to answer this and come up with a decent paper, okay, for your work. No, so the objectives of this learning material, first of all, is for the appreciation of the meaning of language through a literary piece. Now, I keep on telling you guys as English majors, no, this particular monologue written by Eve Ensler, although on the onset, no, when you hear about the title of the monologue, it's a bit scandalous, okay? And for those who are not really used to hearing such words, no, this might come into a surprise for you. So, but nonetheless, I find this very effective and very appropriate for our topic, particularly in this subject, and so that we can really appreciate the meaning of language, no, through this literary piece. I believe when I heard this the first time through a play and through a presentation of the monologue, and when I read the transcript, no, I really find it fitting for our subject in the study of language vis-a-vis culture and society. Okay, so with this, hopefully we can appreciate our study of language, no, with this particular literary piece, no, in relation to culture and society. Okay, so number 2, evaluation of the given literary piece as a material of reference for the study of language and language, culture, and society. So we are not just going to appreciate the material, no, in relation to the language, but we are going to somehow scrutinize, no? We are going to analyze the material, and as we study different topics on our syllabus about language, we will always go back to this material so that we could see, identify how would we really understand, the topic at hand, and how we can apply this, with this particular literary piece. Okay. Now, thirdly, the creation of a concept paper following the provided reference on how to write a concept paper, justifying your evaluation of the literary piece. Now, initially, as what I've told you, I find this material as fitting for the study of our course. Now, I want you to come up with your own concept, with your own idea of how this thing will work, or whether you agree with me or not. No, it doesn't really matter, for as long as you come up with your own concept, okay, and define or justify your idea or your concept, based on a concept paper. Now, as to the concept paper, I provided you with a a transcript or a guide, no, on how to create a concept paper, and it explains there what is a concept paper and how is a concept paper will help in further study of things. Okay, so basically that's our 3 objectives for this learning material. Okay, so for the preliminaries, okay, I call this the pre-reading activity. Okay, the first question is all about your reaction. Okay, this is the third time that I use this. No? The first time virtually, the virtual class. No, and the first and the second reaction of my students, no, both the first time and the second time I use this, they're always in a sort of a shock. Okay, now I'd like you to also identify your reaction. Now, describe your initial reaction. No, when you first heard the title "Vagina Monologue." Okay, I realized that in this part of the country, no, the title is really not appealing, no, for the most of us, and for even, no, for those whom I've expected that they would be open-minded about these things. Unfortunately, they were not. Okay, so anyway, so with you guys, no, so just simply describe, no, your initial reaction, and did you recognize a certain cultural underpinning playing behind your reaction? Narrate, please. So when you describe your reaction, always, no, the second or the follow-up question would ask you to recognize, are there anything that would somehow bring out the Filipino in you, no, about these things? I understand that when you hear the word vagina, no, that is a taboo word. No, you don't really hear that very often, no, to our oldies, no, to our parents, no, and probably buto, no, for the male, no, the male sexual organ, medyo okay lang, no. I think that is also part. It has become sort of a byword of sort, no, to practically anybody here. But when you hear the word vagina, or in different terms in Filipino, no, that really doesn't sound something good. Okay, so basically that's the first question, no. So describe your reaction, and then recognize something like what is a cultural no, underpinnings playing, no. By playing, meaning ano yung mga bagay, no? Ano yung mga bagay na parang nakaka-recognize na sa kultura natin kasi ganito. Okay, ganito kasi sa kultura natin, eh. So you explain that, you narrate that. Okay? So that's the first preliminary. Now, the second is based on your understanding of language, no? Whether it's a simplified definition of a language or a more complex discussion of language, no? Provided on the definition of language, no. I've already posted the definition of language on our group chat, no. So describe and evaluate Eve Ensler's use of language through her literary piece, okay, the Vagina Monologue, in her desire to promote her advocacy, no. So based doon sa definition, okay, na binigay ko or pinost ko sa inyo as our reference, do a critical paper of this task of not more than 600 words, roughly 2 pages, okay, of 2 pages, meaning A4, no, if you're using 2 pages, and if you're encoding it, no, follow the tips on writing critical paper. So I already posted on our group chat a tip or tips, no, on how you properly write a critical paper. Now that is for those who have laptops and they can encode. Now for those who are not blessed with gadgets, no, you can do it. You can do handwriting. It could be handwritten, whichever case. Okay, and but with that, no, the minimum would be, if you're going to do handwriting, no, the minimum would be a bit 4 pages, no, because syempre Depende sa size, no, ng pagsusulat nyo nung critical paper. Okay? So I've already posted, no, sa what I've said, no, how to write critical paper. So may format din doon. So please, no, when you do the critical paper, whether it's handwritten or encoded, no, please follow the format. Okay? So that's letter B. Okay? Now, to continue, okay, we have during reading or viewing activities, no, depending on how you would study the literary piece. No? So list as many new words and terminologies you encounter in this literary piece. Do the list per chapter. Define each new words and terminologies. You may use extra paper for this. So I have here a table, okay, wherein you are tasked to write the new terminologies. Sabi ko, per chapter, okay, and you write as many terminologies as possible. No? So that's the initial way in doing that. Now, with this, no, I would not really require you to do your own definition. Okay, so you might immediately go to refer to your dictionary and then write the new terminologies and its definition. No? So, yun. Now, you have to be careful lang kasi, no, there are certain words that Eve Ensler used that, shall we say, slang, okay, or street words, no, that's very cultural in nature. So you really have to somehow navigate on the Google and really identify what does Eve Ensler really mean when she used this particular word. So you write the chapter title or the section title or whichever case she used, no, and then you need your syllabi for this one. No, I've already posted your syllabi, and what I would like you to do on the third column is the content or content lessons where this particular chapter is applicable. For example, the chapter on hair. Okay, the chapter on hair. So you do the new words, and then you're able to come up with, say, for example, 10 new words, and then you go now to the third column, and the third column would ask you to identify a topic or topics or lessons, no, or the content, no, on our syllabi, and try to recognize what they think, no, what they think is the somehow this particular chapter is applicable to, no. So ano yung mga topics dun sa syllabi natin na pwedeng magamit as an example, no, this particular topic on the hair. Okay, so you write it there, no. So i-compare nyo yung chapters ni Eve Ensler versus our syllabi, and then you go to the content, okay, and check that out, no, kung ano dun yung mga topics na pwede silang magtugma. Okay, so basically that's it, no. So the letter C, the deadline for this one is on September 15. Now, as what I have said, no, we will do self-correction. Okay, we'll do self-correction based on this one, and I want you to check your own work, of course, as with regards to your critic paper, no. Of course, I would still require you to post it on our group page so that we can refer to that particular example as I discuss, no, as I discuss the material. Probably I would also use the same strategy, no, in discussing it. So at any given time, no, you can go back to this topic, no, in checking your own work. Okay, so for the post-reading activity, now this would take the entire semester. Okay, so you refer to the syllabi on writing content paper. Sorry, not syllabi, but on the paper, no, particularly on writing a concept paper, and then you check the chapters. So for this, what do you call this? For this prelim period, no, your main concern is chapter 1 to 3. And then for the prelim, that would be on October 1. Now for the midterm, your concern is 4 to 6, and to be submitted on the 12th of November. And the final stage would be chapter 7 and, okay, chapter 7 and 9. So we disregard 8, okay, and that would be submitted on January 7. Okay, so basically that's it. If you have any other questions that I was not able to answer through this one, no, please just send me a message privately or through our GC. Now, by the way, if I remember some questions, no, initial questions based on this one, for the new words, okay, sabi ko nga, no, you don't need to try to define it on your own. No? You might go, or you just simply go directly to the to its definition. Okay. So another question would be, sir, ano po yung content lesson or lessons? Saan po makikita yon? Sabi ko nga, you can find this content lesson or lessons on the second column. Yeah, second column of our syllabi. Okay, ano yung mga content lessons? Sample, no, let me give you sample topics or some examples that of what you can find in or on the syllabus or on the syllabi, no? I'll just pull out your syllabi, and so what are the topics, no? So language and communication, that's chapter 2, chapter 3, social linguistics. 4, language and culture, language and identity, multilingualism, and so forth and so on. Okay, so simply from a chapter in the vagina monologue, sabi ko nga, no, yung chapter for example on hair, which among these contents do you think, or would you think that this particular chapter or section in vagina monologue would be more appropriate or fitting as an example? Okay, so yon, no, so you need to do some analysis there, no? Okay, now okay, so guys, please, no, when you submit your requirements, sabi ko nga before, diba, as per our instruction or per agreement, no, I'm not requiring everything to be encoded, no. Everybody would do encoding because I understand that there are people or there are students who do not have any laptop or even cell phones for that matter. So pwede ring handwritten, no. All you need to do is just simply upload this learning material so that you will have references, and then for those who are doing handwritten or handwriting, no, you just simply copy everything except the references. Okay, simply copy everything, no? So from objectives, no, the title, objectives, down to the post reading activities. Okay, so yun, no, kopyahin nyo lang siya and just simply answer it, no, through there, no. By the way, as also what we have agreed, no, we will be using A4, okay, so that we will have uniformity in terms of our compilation when you submit it, no, on different times, no, per term, so prelims, midterms, and finals. Okay, so on that note, okay, if you still have questions regarding this matter, no, please feel free to send me a message privately or through GC, so that if you feel that it's also a concern of everyone, no, that might be able to help. Again, we will still meet. I will still make myself available during our time, okay, which is 1 to 2:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you need some sort of discussions, no, or more clarification, no? So just feel free to send me a message, or probably I will invite you for a Google Meet. No, we can do face to face or one on one for the Google Meet, no, depending on the situation. Okay, so like my page, and it's bashing is free. Okay, for future comments, okay, for future suggestions, feel free to um, make suggestions, no, for this particular strategy to work. No, I've used this already with my first year, so hopefully um, ah, hopefully this will work. And I think, no, if this would truly work, then we will continue with this one. Okay, so thank you very much again, guys, and God bless. Bye.